Words of our Divine Mother from the book The Mother, Question and Answers of 1956, Volume 8, page 70. Date 22nd Feb 1956. Question by a Sadhak. Sweet Mother, it is written here, in the parts of works, action is the knot. We have to first loosen it from Synthesis of Yoga, page 94. Sweet Mother, why is action a knot? For this, our Divine Mother says, because one is attached to action. The knot is the knot of the ego. You act because of desire. Sri Aurobindo says this, doesn't he? The ordinary way of acting is tied to desire in one form or another. A desire, a need, so that is the knot. If you act only to satisfy desire, a desire which you call a need or a necessity or anything else, but in truth, if you go to the very root of the thing, you see that it is the impulse of a desire which makes you act. Well, if you act only under the effect of the impulse of the desire, you will no longer be able to act when you eliminate the desire. And this is the first answer people give you. When they are told, act without being attached to the result of the action, have this consciousness, that is, it is not you who are acting, it is the Divine who is acting. The reply which 99.5% of people give is, but if I feel like that, I don't move any longer, I don't do anything anymore. It is always a need, a desire, a personal impulse which makes me act in any way, in one way or other. So Sri Aurobindo says, if you want to realize this teaching of the Gita, the first thing to do is to loosen this knot, the knot of ego, the knot binding action to desire. So firmly tied are they that if you take away one, you take away the other. He says the knot must be loosened in order to be able to remove desire and yet continue to act. And this is the fact. This is what must be done. The knot must be loosened. It is a small inner operation which you can very easily perform. And when it has been performed, you realize that you act absolutely without any personal motive, but moved by a force higher than your egoistic force and also more powerful. And then you act, but the consequences of the action no longer return upon you. This is a wonderful phenomenon of consciousness and quite concrete. In life, you do something. Whatever you do, good or bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. Whatever it may be, it immediately has a series of consequences. In fact, you do it to obtain a certain result. That is why you act with an eye for a result. For example, if I stretch out my hand like this to take the mic, I am looking for the result, you see, to make sound in the mic. And there is also a consequence always. But if you loosen the knot and let a force coming from above or elsewhere act through you and make you do things, though these are the consequences of your action, they don't come to you any longer. For it was not you who initiated the action, it was the force from above. And the consequences pass above or else they are guided, willed, directed, controlled by the force which made you act. And you feel absolutely free. Nothing came back to you of the result of what you have done. There are people who have had this experience, but these things come first in a flash for a moment and then withdraw. It is only when one is quite ready for the transformation that this comes and is established. Well, some people have had this experience once, perhaps for a few seconds in their life. They have had the experience and then the moment has been withdrawn. The state of consciousness has been withdrawn, but the memory remains and they imitate that. And our mother says, and if by chance they happen to be people who know how to make speechless, like certain gurus who have disciples to whom they teach the path, they teach them like this: when it is the Divine who acts through you, and when you are loosen the knot of desire, you no longer suffer any moral or other consequences of what you do. And you go on, do anything, whatever you want. You can even kill your neighbor, or you can, violate Om, and you can do everything the Divine wants in you, and you will never suffer any consequences. And indeed, they do it. Yes, they take the experience as a cloak to cover their excesses. the excuses. This is just by the way to put you on your guard against people who pretend to be that they are, but they are not. But as a matter of fact, says our Divine Mother, as a matter of fact, the result is very simple. For immediately they suffer the consequences of their pretenses. They say they don't, but they suffer. I knew of a very striking case of a sannyasin who was furious with someone who didn't want to be his disciple. Already this proved that he was far from having realized the state and who wished to take revenge. And indeed he had some powers. He made a very powerful information to kill this person who has refused to be his disciple. It so happened that this person was in contact with Sri Aurobindo. He told him his story and Sri Aurobindo told him, and the result of it was the formation made by that man who was acting with the so-called divine will fell back on him in such a way that it was he who died. And it was simply the fact re-establishing the truth. There was nothing else to do. So the moral of the story is that one must not pretend, one must be. That one must be absolutely sincere and not cover up one's desires with fine theories. I have met many people who claim that they have perfect equality of soul and perfect freedom and hid themselves behind these theories. All is divine will, and who, in fact, in their thought were substituting their own will for the divine will and were very far from realizing what they claimed. They were idlers who didn't want to make any effort, preferred keeping their nature as it was rather than working to transform it. For this, the sadhak says, Sweet Mother, do these people have powers? For that, our Divine Mother says, yes, there are some who have great powers, but these powers come from the vital and from an association with the vital entities. There are all kinds of powers, only these powers don't hold out before the true divine power, but they can't resist. But over ordinary human beings, they have much power. Then can they harm us, says the sadhak. For this, our Divine Mother says much. Not only they can, they do it. They do a lot of harm. The number of people who are tormented because they had the misfortune of meeting a so-called sannyasin is considerable. I am not telling you this to frighten you because here you are protected, but it is a fact. While receiving initiation, these men have received the imposition of a force from the vital world, which is extremely dangerous. This is not always the case. And because there was no sincerity. Sincerity is so rare a virtue in the world who ought to bow down before it with respect when one meets it. Sincerity, we call it sincerity. That is to say, a perfect honesty and transparency. That's where, maybe nowhere in the being anything which pretends, hides and wants to pass it itself off from what it is not. These are the divine words of our Divine Mother.